Hello, everyone. I'm head of quality assurance department at Amasti, premier Magento extensions builder, and I'm responsible for the quality of the products we deliver. We use various approaches and tools to ensure quality, and Magento Functional Testing Framework facilitates this. Today, I will share our experience of using this great tool. Let's discuss reasons to apply MFTF on a project first. We have more than 250 extensions, hence regression testing as a part of updating them takes a lot of time. And we decided to accelerate this process and develop MFTF tests to avoid delaying releases. Here is an example. Regression testing of our free gift extension took us 7 hours, and the time has been decreased to 2 hours as we covered it with auto tests. Even when only half of the test has been ready, we already have been running them and seeing the results. For a larger improved layout navigation extension, the regression testing time was decreased from 50 to 20 hours, though auto test development is not completed yet. Moreover, you can use MFTF tests out of the box and skip some manual regression testing without developing your own tests. For instance, you can test such important features as customer registration, products, categories, attributes creation, product search, checkout, and many more using default tests. Of course, if changes has been made and the functionality differs from the default one, some tests may crash. But selecting tests that function correctly and using them as a part of the regression testing may come in useful. You can do it even if you don't have an automation testing engineer in your team, because MFTF is XML-based and easy to use. Therefore, the main advantages of MFTF are the availability of ready-to-use tests and the simplicity of mastering. Scalability. Another additional test for specific functionality may be added as MFTF enables this. We at Amasti develop tests for the functionality of our extensions, and I will go into detail later. Also, let's remember the other reasons to actually automate testing for any tool you use, such as you have long-term projects. Just like us, you support multiple product versions, and also MFTF and automation in general is suitable for Magento due to the ability to run tests on different platform versions and detect version-specific bugs. One does not simply go out and automate testing. If you have never done this before, it is not always clear what to start from. By trial and error, we have found out that certain steps are absolutely must-haves. Step number 1 is project profitability calculation. This may mean risk on investment calculation. Updates frequency and time required to develop and support tests are worth considering. However, bear in mind that auto tests not just only save manual testing budgets, but are also winning in terms of reliability, time required to pass a quality assurance stage that results in faster release rollouts and also human factor eliminating. Then comes the definition of what exactly to automate. It is a certain consensus that regression is the best candidate for automation. So we began to start with it. In some cases, these may be some important or risky functionality or detected places that accumulate defects. It is difficult to overestimate the planning stage because the better the input data, the better the result. The next stage is test case composition. This will be discussed in part 3. In the next stage, you choose the order in which to develop tests. For instance, we split extension tests into base, regression, and nice to have groups and began with the first one. That's not a good picture on the slide. Next stage is actually test development, including testing the tests. Another important stage is review. And then we include our tests into extensions. Never forget about the timely launch. It is vital to track how often tests are run and if any bugs are found. This stage is already the analysis, and we may compare the results of this analysis to the calculations from the stage 1. But the job is not done yet, and we move on to refinement and maintenance based upon the information obtained in the course of activities that are the part of the previous stage. As I have previously mentioned, the test cases for automation are an entirely different thing that is definitely worth paying attention to. So let's discuss it. We choose test cases because they are quite detailed and therefore suitable for automation. And other types of test documentation are quite unspecified. With a hands-on test survey, test automation engineer, no matter how experienced they are, may risk missing important checks. And hence, the test won't attain its main target and detect the defects. It is crucial that test cases contain as recurrent steps and checks as possible. Indeed, if there was a backend product, several tests would crash, not just one. For sure, making all steps unique is barely possible, but let's try our best. Test cases should contain preconditions. Preconditions are a list of actions that result in a status that is suitable for running the main test. While testing manually, we barely think about test execution preconditions, but they are crucial for automation. Let's analyze an example. We have a test case on product editing, and we would choose any product and edit it while testing manually. An auto test should not act this way because we are risking to break the codependence of tests. If one test edits a product while another one would try to use it the same way, it may crash. The solution is to create the product via an auto test. It is important to understand that adding such data is not the test itself. These are only the secondary actions. But still, preconditions are important because they make the test self-sufficient, independent, and reduce the test runtime. It's a good idea to use the shortest path of the test case. Transitions through pages, tabs and button clicks, dialogues opening and closing takes time. So minimize these steps to accelerate the test. One step should not be referenced to another step. Indeed, if, for instance, you shouldn't write repeat steps from 1 to 10 for a configurable product in step 11. This check is either not needed at all, or we include it into a separate test for a configurable product. Next important point is the correspondence of an auto test via a test case. Each step of the auto test should be the same as the test in the test case. This is the only way to quickly examine the results of the tests, find bugs, and maintain tests. Pretty complicated task is the optimization of test case size. What size should a test case for automation be? There is no defined answer, but we stick to the following approach. One test means one significant check. Some more or less significant checks may be added if they have the same preconditions and do not increase test execution time a lot. In case there is an indivisible sequence of steps, they are taken out to the action group. And this is when we are slowly moving to the next part of the presentation, MFTF best practices. So as DevDocs states, we should use action groups to wrap a set of actions to reuse them multiple times. And we should use extension when a test or action group needs to be repeated with the exception of a few steps. We consider this to be a really fundamental principle when developing tests. The independence of tests from each other is also important. This means that the result of one test does not affect the other tests. Even if the tests are performed simultaneously, for example, in different browsers, they should not interfere with each other. A test should delete critical data after its execution because it may interfere with the following executions of other tests or this same test. This does not always mean deletion as such. Sometimes some fields that was made mandatory may be set optional. All the data the test creates must be unique when it comes to IDs, URLs, keys, and so on for the same purpose. Standard Magento action groups should not be neglected. Moving forward to self-sufficiency. Auto tests should not depend on any data that may disappear or change over time or at any given moment. A few words about stability. If there are no bugs in the extension, the auto test should always be completed. This seems to be obvious, but really not always easily achieved. When several people collaborate on an automation project, the correct organization of the teamwork is even more crucial. We have undertaken the following steps to achieve it. First, we've introduced Git workflow that looks like this. Okay, look like this. And this helped foster collaboration a lot. Especially when it comes to several people developing tests for the same extension. We use the same action groups, data, and so on, not just within the same extension, but for different extensions as well. When action groups, which may be common for some or all of our extensions, increase in number, we place them in two bays. Larger extensions, this may be a large project or a store, may be divided into logical parts and automated consequently part by part. Several people may write tests for different parts at the same time. That's what we did when working on our improved load navigation extension. And now, time for some life hacks. For everyone working on tests, committing to the same value options for the group annotation seems to be unsophisticated, but yet a very useful approach. It helps with maintaining order in tests and running them later. Therefore, we have compiled a list of possible values and use them in each test. There are a common group for tests developed within the company, for example, a master group for all our tests, then a group that matches the name of extension or maybe project, that combines all the tests of this extension. A group corresponding the functionality of Magento. For instance, all tests that affect checkout may be combined in a checkout group. And logical groups for tests may be selected within a larger extension. If several tests have the same preconditions, don't neglect to use test suites. This dramatically reduces test runtime. Running tests automatically after master branch updates is a great practice, and we are working on it right now. Keeping the statistics of how the test performed so that you could see how well they detect bugs is a great practice and also rocks. In case tests are running a significant number of times without detecting any bugs, okay, good for you, you did a regression, but this may be a signal for you to analyze the test scenarios and improve them. Do not forget that all tests, including MFTF tests, require maintenance support due to the product updates, and therefore allocate some time while planning on these activities. And don't forget to use reports because they are breathtaking. Thus, we discussed today reasons why MFTF is well suited for functional testing automation, important phases that should not be omitted in the course of test development, and the specific features of test cases for automation, then some of the best practices, teamwork, and also a list of life hacks that may be expanded. Developing tests is a creative process that will improve the quality of the products and extensions. And it's worth to contribute into the platform to make it better and to build your skills up to the next level. Thank you.
All right. Can everyone hear it? Anyone have any questions for Valeria? I know it's early. I do.
Okay.
There it is.
So you have about 250 extensions.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that some of the engineers at MST are well aware of how to use MFTF, and some other engineers are not. So how do you guarantee that the total of 250 extensions are covered by MFTF constantly?
Mm-hmm. We do manual testing, and we began to use this MFTF tool to cover the regression testing, and we started from the most popular extensions. So we have different groups of extensions, and some of them are updated more times, and we sell them a lot. So we started with them, and we started to cover from the beginning of this list of the extensions. So we are really on the way to cover all the extensions, but the answer to your question is that actually not all the extensions are covered right now. So we are going to this point, but not yet. And we are going to automate it step by step. And now we have maybe about 10 extensions automated fully, and we are working on other. Thank you.